Alright, good afternoon. Today is Monday, March 4th, 2024. It is currently 2:34 p.m. My name is Amy Jamie, procurement specialist with the city of Miami Springs. And on today's selection committee meeting, we will be reviewing and ranking RFP 0123-24 for professional tennis management and operation services for the Miami Springs Tennis Center. Starting on my right, along with me on the selection committee meeting today is
Elizabeth Fuentes, Assistant Public Works Director.
Caitlin Smith, Special Events Program Supervisor.
Craig Gonzalez, Recreation Commission Chair.
Juan Garcia, Deputy City Clerk.
Chris Hubdy, I'm from Parks and Recreation for the city of Doral. I'm the Recreation Contracts Coordinator.
Thank you. Hopefully, you have all been able to review each proposal in advance. Today, we will be reviewing and ranking each proposal by company name. We will then rank the top 3 companies on the solicitation. The highest ranked company may be considered for award of this proposal, subject to further review and recommendation on council approval. Just to reiterate, you have 2 forms in front of you. One is the top 3 scoring ranking sheet, and the other is the evaluation of each individual company. Okay, please note that this meeting is currently being recorded at our City Hall Council Chambers located at 201 Westford Drive, Miami Springs, Florida. And with that, I now open the floor for discussion. I advise that each company is reviewed amongst the committee. So if you like, you can choose an order in which you can go through them. You can do it in alphabetical or in the order that you received them through on the email. You also have the, you don't know where to start exactly, you have the table of the evaluation for each committee. You can choose to go down that any particular way that the committee feels more comfortable.
So we're gonna go through each one as a group.
Correct.
We're just gonna review, are we stopping a rank after each one?
I advise that you rank at the end after you've reviewed all of the companies.
And so after those rankings are done of each individual proposal, we're gonna list our top 3.
Correct. Correct. Based on the scoring of what you gave them on each individual evaluation. So if you'd like, we can, I think the first one that was sent to you all was
Device.
Order of the packet.
Yeah, it's in order effective.
was
HZIP.
so you're reviewing HZIP?
Are the copies only electronic?
Correct. I believe they should have been provided to all of you sometime last week,
They were.
Wednesday.
Alright, so just a couple of observations that I had on HCIP. They were more affordable than most of the other proposals that we received. It looks like the annual resident fee was $130 for adults, $70 for juniors. That's for the club membership for the year. The court fees were $4, $3 for residents, and then $6 and $5 in the evening hours. One thing that, although it did seem more affordable than some of the others, it looked like it was lacking detail on the different levels. A lot of the other proposals gave a different price structure based on the you know, how advanced the lessons were, and that seemed to be lacking. So you know, just something that I noticed was kind of missing from the proposal. I also did not see what software they were planning to use for the reservation system.
No, they didn't have any, actually, the only thing that they discussed that could be is just software and analysis of what the needs are of the program. And that they would establish KPIs to monitor the program, but there wasn't anything for reservation. For managing of the account,
Signing up for lessons.
yeah, the signing up, the registration. And I didn't see, like you're saying, as far as to distinguish between the different levels, not at all.
I also, unless I missed it, I didn't see that they had experience working, with another municipality. It looked like they'd work with a lot of different locations. Usually short end, it looked like it was anywhere between 1 to 3 years, but I didn't see that they had worked with another city.
Yeah, most of their experience was outside of Florida.
Yeah.
So,
Very close.
correct.
The other thing I saw that was kind of lacking was like time, how many times a week they would be offering the lessons. So it gave a price for like per lesson, but what would that total cost monthly be for our residents?
There's no like bi-weekly or weekly.
How many
or-
days those lessons would be?
Correct. I mean, as far as qualifications, experience, past performance, I mean, that kind of information, it was pretty good across all of them, so that wasn't, more of what I was looking at is what was being offered to the player. The experience of all of the submittals, were fantastic.
Yeah, Yeah, I would
But
agree.
what do they offer with that experience is what's, a difference, and this one in particular. It wasn't very clear.
Do you feel that you all have had the time to evaluate and score down for HZIP or HZIP?
Yeah.
Okay, has everyone had a chance to evaluate them? We can move on to the next respondent. Sorry, just please make sure you sign at the end of all of the pages for each one of the companies. Thank you. Liz, since you were keeping track of the order, what was the
Device-full sports solutions,
perfect?
DBA Valiente.
Perfect.
So when I saw this one, I noticed that there were names that were also repeated in. Unless I'm mistaken, that there was a name that was also repeated in another RFP. This person, can they have more than one RFP?
And another article within the city?
Yeah, but the same, for the same.
In the same-
The same,
Yeah.
bids. The
And-
name,
MGT, I believe it was.
MGT, and this one had the same person.
It's the same person as like their.
This is
Yeah,
correct.
so they have, I noticed that, and it's for fitness coach, so
It's a coach on one and
Yeah,
then.
it's a coach one, but
Director.
that's okay.
Yes.
We have that.
one as owner and one as, I guess, ad hoc, just complimentary services that they provide, I guess, as a subcontractor. Is how it would be viewed, right? Correct.
And overall, I thought the presentation was impressive. I thought it would be doing a lot to give back to the center in terms of its improvements and maintenance as well as upgrades, which I thought were important. That was very detailed, but it seemed like they had worked before with other municipalities, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they had Coral Gables, so they have worked with other municipalities, associations, charter schools, so they have a good collection of different places that they work with. And have had, long-standing relationships with.
Right.
Is,
And
is,
to me, it was different level types of players.
Right.
They worked with beginners, they worked with more experience, they worked with adults, children.
They also named the largest amount of staff. I think they were up to like 16 people that they had on their key members, something more than all the other outfits.
one of the, that you mentioned, the facilities and upgrades and all that, it's a huge undertaking. So it'd be interesting to actually see something like that come to fruition. Given that our facility is small, so let's say a pro shop, like how much bigger can you know, make a pro shop, but what can you do with what you have? That would be, impressive. The software, it was on point. Wave software for accounting, their POS, your reports for the reservation. Front point for securing assets, which I had not seen that before, so that was interesting to see.
Yeah, not to just echo, but I agree with you guys. I thought the proposal on the upgrades to the facility was completely different from, you know, a lot of the other proposals. If that, it was, you know, daily and weekly updates. This was, you know, like you said, a complete upgrade. And they had the experience with the software that they'd be using for, you know, point of sale registration. I think on pricing, they were on the more expensive side, but not super out of reach from what anyone else was proposing. And the proposal itself on what, you know, they'd be bringing to the community, I thought stood out, in a lot of other ways.
Yeah, one of the questions that I had was, given that you're talking, the principal owner has a commitment of 40+ hours, so how do you do 40+ hours and then run other programs? Especially a city program like a Coral Gables, you know, a charter school that's pretty demanding, so, I would be interesting to see how you accomplish that. Us being as busy as we all are, we know 40 hours is probably the minimum of what we do, so how do you fit that in to our particular program? So is it gonna take that dedication to our program to bring it to the level that I think our residents are looking for? Can it be done?
I think this one definitely showed what we were looking for previously of the breakdown of how all the age groups in our community would be hit also. So it really involves all ages.
Is there anywhere here, and I was trying to find it, so maybe it was hidden in different language that I maybe didn't recognize, but anywhere here where you brought up what the rates would be, that it is a little bit more expensive. So I've looked at other ones and I'm seeing, you know, like different splits, right? 70-30, 90-10. I don't know if I missed that here.
I did not see the revenue split.
And
You could probably do
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it does. It
Yeah,
does have the city revenue. So
yeah,
if you're
that's
looking
what they're
at,
taking on what we would be getting.
right,
Slide number 47.
yeah, so it's on 47. So when they say here city revenue, that's your percentage. So if you had, yeah, it's a little bit more. I mean, is that a concern for anybody, or it looked pretty average?
You're saying the splits look pretty average too.
Well, the cost is more, so the split is a 70/30, yeah. I'm just
How
looking,
much more is it than what we offer now?
I believe what we offer now might be 100%. I'm not familiar.
So, at least for me, what was sticking out was more the annual memberships. I think the lessons were more on par with what the other proposals entailed. But the annual membership for tennis and pickleball was listed at up to $260 for their family one, not all of them included a family one. And then it was $130 for adults. And it looks like, well, 75 for child was actually a little bit less. It may have just been the family package that was sticking out more.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more consideration for seniors in military. For maybe high school. I mean, I realize it is $75, but if you would have a little bit more consider our seniors, we have a lot of seniors that I know visit the tennis facility. So that and there's a lot of pluses in this particular. I would agree with that.
Another thing that stuck out in this proposal to me was their marketing plan. It's not like they were gonna just come in and expect everybody to know what they were changing, but that they want to get the word out to our residents specifically, so.
And an app, I see an app in development, that was pretty interesting to see, so that you're able to, so that just enhances. When we do have those weather conditions in Florida, so that would also be. I mean, our young. Kids would absolutely. Not like that, because they thought they got a break from the day, but I think they would see it as a plus, so that. That looks interesting on the horizon for them.
I think it was gonna mention that, right?
Yeah.
I had a question on the front point, security that they wanted to install. So that the venue could be monitored 24/7. How would that work with Miami Springs if, you know, a provider essentially has access to cameras for the facility, would there be any challenges with that, or is that?
I would ask for the sake of the evaluation, that's something that would have to be either negotiated or spoken with. That'll be made at the time of whether or not they're selected. I would just take into consideration as the evaluator, that weighs down on any of the other items that are being requested on the evaluation sheet. Minor items like that can be discussed during negotiations. Awesome. Okay, so if you've all had a chance to fill out that one, we can move ahead to the next one.
And the next one's MGT.
Thank you, Liz.
So I actually had a question for MGT, unless I was missing it, I didn't see their prices listed.
No, there weren't any rates.
Unfortunately, the rates were given to us after the time of submittal, so they were not accepted. However, I believe that the evaluation committee should still, take a look at their proposal and evaluate if whether or not they will be
Based on what we have.
correct.
Are they still active in their?
Well, not with the city of Durrell. I think that they have a couple clubs in the area, but they're not actually our parks.
Yeah, it's a country, I noticed it's
At a country.
Park and Country Club, it's at a country club, which is a private venue, right?
Correct.
They do have a municipality, in like Lakes, but, like experience with a municipality back in Lakes, but.
They've never done any work with the city.
Not with the city.
Did they give a reason why they submitted a pleasant thing? Did they just forgot?
I had a late submittal for that.
Which you did not accept, right?
I said, no, they. Computer error or something.
It was not accepted, so.
Okay.
So she doesn't even know what the rates were.
No, I meant the reason why they didn't. submit
Yeah,
it.
they didn't explain, but she didn't even accept it, so she has no idea what even they were going to charge for the rates, so.
Right now, I knew that.
I mean, I found this proposal to also be very detailed with the exception of the missing rates. I really like the breakdown that they did on explaining. In the previous proposal, it gave you us on the price sheet a breakdown of age groups, but this proposal specifically kind of gave like their detailed handbook, how they run everything. And it also gave a breakdown of like who would fit into those categories more than just ages, so how they would break down the teachings. I thought that was very, very detailed, so.
They also stood out to me just, listing the accomplishments, of their current and past participants going on, to college, and Jose Manuel Garcia, being listed as coach of the year in 2022. It just kind of showed the level of coaching that the residents would receive signing up with this program.
But all of these people saw our facility, correct?
Yes.
It's interesting to see how all the things that they're offering, how to facilitate that in our space. So they're all aware of that.
Okay, if that's it for no more comments or takeaways from this proposal, so we can move on to the next one. Which I believe is the second to last, right?
Yes.
That should be-
That would be Miami Tennis Pro.
I like that, What I've been on this proposal, they had experience with, like a park like Ron Eamon's, I think that's a county park, lessons there, there's also, a lot of experience from the main person, the coach there.
Yeah, in this proposal, you can definitely see that they have more municipality. Local park experience based on,
Which gives you the ability, gives them the ability to be more diverse in, you know, who comes and plays on their course and how they need to achieve them. One of the things that I noticed here was, even though it said grant funding for infrastructure repairs and improvements, how can you also be creative through grant funding for those that maybe can't pay that annual membership, or, you know, are unable to pay for private lessons? And is there a way to be able to help those particular participants, depending on their age group, if there's programs out there that can actually supplement some of that expense for some of the parents? Not all parents in Miami Springs can afford to, the tennis, class is expensive. And it's a commitment, so is that something that, when it's mentioned, that I feel comfortable that there's experience in being able to do that. Again, interesting how these folks split their time. 48 hours is a lot of time. To manage and operate, I guess you know, it's split up, there's 7 days in the week, so how much time, you know, how many programs can you be at the same time? Particularly that our programs are super busy in the evening times.
I think that's definitely like a concern over everybody, how
Right.
they can be
how
so productive in so many locations at the same time.
Right, because they're all successful.
Yeah, and this proposal also named quite a few. Key staff, so maybe that's part of it.
And you also have staff in the pro shop, so it takes away from the coaches having to be involved in maybe some of those responsibilities. So that helps. I noticed that on this one, for the leagues, tournaments, membership, court fees, open play, that one's an 80-20. Or some of the others are 70-30, so that's a little bit more. I did see a consideration for the seniors, so at $3. The same rates for day and night, that didn't change. And you have a retention of all revenue from privates, clinics, and pro shop. They mentioned a reservation software, but not the actual name of the software, so. I'm sure there's a ton out there. But they did make mention of having a reservation software.
Any further discussion on this proposal?
Is this the only one that offered summer camp that I saw that offered summer? Yeah, I think so, yeah. That's where it just jumped up. I mean, the rest of them are year round. I don't recall seeing summer camp in another one of an 8-week period.
You know, and this also offered half day and full day, which
Right,
gives options to
to the
our
parent.
community.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if I missed that in the scope of services, was the city looking for a summer camp?
Not necessarily, I don't believe so. There, within the RFP, there was, some leeway for the proposer to offer, special events such as, you know, those or special rates for, military students, et cetera. So that might have been something they included.
And I think the experience of working in the community at this time helps to know the community, so what services you can provide. So that it shows that they know the community to be able to offer something like that
Right.
and feel confident that they'd be able to fill up a summer camp.
So I think that will conclude the discussion. With that,
We have one more.
Yeah.
Mariana,
With this.
with this vendor,
Yeah.
yes, with it.
So now we're going on to the last one, which is yes, Mariana.
So on this one, I definitely noticed that it's the smallest amount of staff that they have available. Or plan to use for the project.
Yeah, this one has one manager and two instructors. It looks like some of the instructors have been with the current provider for about 10 years. They do have park, and they do have charter school and academy. I noticed though in the academy, it shows as program management only. So not as coaching, and I don't know what the difference is in that. So is it just managing the overall program as an administration or as
Or
an
actually
instructor?
Yeah. It doesn't seem to be. Seems to just be organizing and developing.
That one did give a little bit, 10% on private, so there's a little bit of share there. I've noticed that the rates on this one is a little bit. When you look at the memberships, per year, family max for 350, 450. So, little higher.
Yeah.
But quite a bit. It'd be interesting to, see how a small group like this would be able to manage a robust program like this that we have.
In addition to other programs.
Correct. And all you have is group, and private court rentals, you know, your annual memberships. I didn't see any much ad hoc programming.
It was the thinnest of the proposals for me, just didn't see a vision,
No, not at all.
and I don't think that's what we want. We want something that's, I mean, the contract is for how long?
It's 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, like, we need to show that
Mhm.
we got year 2, year 4, year 6, and, you know, beyond. Which, you know, like I said, it was just very thin.
Yeah, and it's definitely lacking in just encompassing coaching for all abilities, people, not really drawing people in, but just sticking to people that are already dedicated to tennis, I felt like.
If no further discussion is being made on this proposal, I now ask that you all please total your score sheets. After you total your score sheets, you can rank the companies on your top 3 ranking sheet, that's the one with the yellow highlighting. And once you've completed all of the totals of the scoring sheets, if you can please turn those into me.
School.
So each individual company will have a score, and then on the rank, it'll just be 1, 2, and 3.
Oh,
Although I do think. No, you just put the ranking, so 1, 2, and 3.
Can I keep them in the order that we call them all?
Yeah, that would be great, actually.
I'm gonna transfer to the top 30 here.
Yes, please. And then just rank them 1, 2, and 3.
Sorry.
So if we finish the ranking sheets, if you can please just pass them to me. Or- Thank you all for coming out here today. Just so that you all know what will follow, we will be reviewing the ranking sheets and the evaluation sheets that you guys have provided and filled out with us today. A memo will be prepared to council based on the highest ranked and highest scored proposer based on all of your scores. With that being said, the memo will be prepared to council with a recommendation. However, that does not mean that that recommendation will be chosen by council. The top three ranking sheets that you all provided will be used to create a short list of the top three companies. If council decides to continue with the recommended vendor, then they will be selected. If not, then council can exercise the right to have them each individually come and present to them so that they can make a decision based on what you guys have all recommended. With that being said,
We should tally them up now,
okay,
tally them up in front of everybody and then call it off.
okay, so if you give me one moment, I can add these up for you. And I won't have the top three.
Hmm?
I won't have the top three.
What do you mean? You're gonna add up all five of their, this was their top three, which could change based on the total of all five. At the name of the.
The nice side. Like numbers. We have to go back twice. We have to split it.
Yeah, it was construction, so pretty big. Those are fun. I don't know.
Yeah, this is one stuff. From the other stuff.
This is really
A
in,
little library.
yes,
That's a nice too.
the technical. Yeah. I'm pretty good at that. Got for you. Much force.
I would check these also. Let me sure.
You can talk, you can have it. Like, mine's like, ranking the one. It's, we have to.
Without verifying these numbers are added up correctly. Something else. But it's clear. You want me to? And that's the top figure. You know, and now it's how it's supposed to just go from here and go across and then that's how it's supposed to.
Okay. So, I guess we'll start with, we'll go through each column. I think that'll be easier. Okay, so for HZIP LLC, Ms. Fuentes gave them a 52, Juan Garcia 75, Fred Gonzalez 55, Chris 74, and Caitlin Smith 38. Their total ranking was 294. Lizette Fuentes gave Device Sports Solution 91, Juan Garcia gave them a 95, Fred Gonzalez 93, Christopher gave them a 92, and Caitlin gave them a 64. Their total, which before verifying the numbers, is the first pick at 435 points. At GT Academy, Lizette Fuentes gave them 60, Juan Garcia 75, Fred Gonzalez 68, Christopher Hall gave them 76, and Caitlin Smith gave them 42. Their total was 321 points. Miami Tennis Pro Corp, Lizette Fuentes gave them 67, Juan Garcia 85, Fred Gonzalez 90, Christopher 88, and Caitlin Smith 49. Their grand total was 379 points. For Mariana, Lizette gave them 58, Juan 75, Brad 50, Christopher gave them 82, and Caitlin Smith gave them 31. Their grand total was 296, excuse me. With that being said, I don't know if you want me
The
to.
first, second, third.
So the first place is Device Bowl Sports Solutions, which is how the recommendation will be made. The second place is Miami Tennis Court at 379, and MGT Academy at third place with 321 points. Again, these numbers will be verified, we will count them and double check them again. Again, just to reiterate, a memo will be prepared to council with the highest scoring, which in this case is Device Sports Solution. The recommendation will be made to council again, if they feel that they need to reevaluate that and bring in the top three and have them present, they absolutely can do so. Okay, so thank you all again for coming out here today. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. And correct, and this concludes our selection committee meeting. Please remember that you're still in a cone of silence with respect to this RFP, so please no discussion on anything that was on here today. Except what was recorded. With that being said, this concludes your meeting. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's not recording.
Yeah, stop. Stop.